Well, hi, everybody. This is time for us to do our poppies today. Welcome. It's 2 o'clock. And these poppies are protected, so we're not selling our poppy pictures. We're doing these for enjoyment and in recognition of those that went before us to give us a free country. So that's a little bit about poppies. We're not going to paint the background first, which is something that normally we would do. We're going to paint the background last. So we'll do that later. So we're going to put on the bottom part first. And with that, we'll just dip our brushes into some water and just get a little bit of water on the bottom of our canvas. So I'm hoping you can see. I'll just move this over a little bit. We'll come back to that after. So we're just putting a little bit of water on the bottom of our canvas, just down at the bottom. Just down the bottom. So this is just clear water. And we're going to mix a green and a blue together. So we want quite a puddle. So we're going to make a wet puddle, a blue and green together. So we want it to be fairly wet. So if it's not moving or wet enough, add some more water. And then we're going to take our straw. So we talked about having a straw for this class. So with the straw, we're just going to blow some air through the straw up and move. And we're going to move the paint up into the picture. So I'm just going to add a little bit more water to mine so that it moves a little more. And with the straw, I'm just going to blow up into the picture. So mind all the paint I've got blowing on the bottom. But you can see we're blowing and coming up with lines. So I've got a nice tall one there. So I'm going to add a little bit more on this side. So it's on this side. Again, I'm just blowing up. I'm going to turn that upside down and let that run a little bit into my lines. Not too much, but just so that it darkens it a little bit. So it takes a little bit of practice. So once we've got that on there, now mine is a little bit on the blue side, so I'd like it to be more green. I've added too much green to my green and blue mix. So I'm just going to put green on there now. We're going to actually add another color. So put on some green and no special pattern, and you can go right to the outside edges if you like. And then I'll blow that up as well. A little more water. So if it's not moving when you blow, you need a little more water. So I've got a little bit extra on the outside edge there, but when I take my tape off, that will disappear. That's fine. So I'll just wipe that extra off. So this is our field. This is our starting point. And I've still got a little bit of space down the bottom. I don't want the white there, so I'm just going to fill that in. And we can come back and we can put more on there after. Now they're going to be all over the place. Some will be taller, some will be shorter. For the sake of our poppies, we'll add, if we need to, we'll add a few stems, but we just want the basis. This is the background of your picture. And so we can blow dry that now. So if you have your blow dryers handy, we'll go ahead and we'll blow that dry. I'm just going to turn mine a little bit here and there for a little bit different dimension in the way the colors are sitting. Now, as I said, we can go ahead and we can add more colors after this, but at this point, we have a nice background for our poppy picture. And so now with a clean brush, I just want to make sure everyone's back and ready to go. Oh, just wait a minute, looks like some people are still drying. So we'll just wait a moment. We're going to go ahead and we'll start with our first poppy. And poppies are the shape of a teacup on the bottom. So with just a clear brush with clear water, make sure it's clean. So we'll just use the clear water, and we're just going to make the shape of a teacup with water. So I'm going to make 3 of them and a little tiny one off to the side, just kind of looking sideways. These 2 are looking up. The one on the right is over to just a little bit to the right, but we're just going to put some water on there. And this one's sideways. And so with that, we'll start to add some color. So we'll start with a nice bright yellow or an ochre if you've got it. But I'm going to start with a nice bright yellow, and where I put that paint, I'm just going to put some little dots and just let that paint move around. And I'm not filling in every space, I'm just putting the yellow on. This is my part of my background color for my poppies. So I've got one facing off to the side, one straight up and down, and one over to the right a little bit. I'm going to rinse off my brush, and I'm going to go into red. So the red, I'm adding in and around my poppy, just in and around. And it should be turning. Some of that yellow will still be left, but you should start to be getting a little bit, as it blends, a little bit of an orange color. And if you have orange, we're just going to put a little bit of orange on there as well. Still remembering that the poppy has the shape of a teacup at the bottom. So we definitely want to maintain that shape. And this would be a combination of blending colors. So this is an ochre that I'm putting on here now. I'm going to put a little bit at the top and a little bit at the sides of that flower, a little bit at the top of this flower, down the sides, maybe a little in the front of the ochre, and some more on the other flower. So we're layering color on color on color here. And as we're putting the color on, some of it's starting to dry, and it will be drying 20 to 30% lighter than when we originally put it on. So we can go back into the red and start to add that deeper red in and around the center, leaving that yellow open. And I have a nice branch here. Which I'm not too worried about this because I will be making this green and I will be putting blue around the outside edge. So that's okay. That's fine that that's sitting like that. So again, with that dark red around, leaving that yellow part in the middle. So these are your poppies. They're not all going to look the same, and we don't want them to look the same either. We want to have everybody have a little bit unique, a little bit different. And we have a dark color on these poppies, and that dark color is made by mixing your blue and your red together. So what you want to have is almost a deep, deep purple. And the deep, deep purple we'll put around the center of the flower. Now this flower is looking up, so we want to just go around the outside edges and down at the very bottom where our stem will be. We just want a little touch where our stem joins. So our paints are still a little bit wet and they'll be blending a little bit, and that's good. That's nice. We also want to go ahead with that dark color, and we want to emphasize a little bit of the edges at the top of some of the petals. So we're just defining a little bit of the edges on the petals, on the outside edge. It just gives us a little more definition. Poppies aren't actually as smooth as the ones that you get from the poppy box in the store. They're not actually rounded edges. They have some ridges on the edges. Now my ochre is dried a little bit light, so I'm going to go back in with the ochre. I'm going to define a few of the petals, just a few petals, not the whole petal, just a part. And I'd like to create a little bit of light on my petals. So I'm going to, just with a clean brush, dry, well, sorry, it's wet, but I've tapped it off on my paper towel. And I'm going to pull a little bit of the color off just to give some light and some variation in some of the petals. I just want a little bit of light. And then where I put that light, I'm going to go back in with my red and blue mix, which is a purple color. And underneath that, I'm just going to draw just a slight hint of a petal just underneath where I put that light. This one looks a little bit made up, so I'm just going to move that one a little bit, just put a little more red in there. Kind of lost my petal. Now this is still a little bit damp, some of our colors, so we're going to switch to a smaller brush, and we're going to put in the little dots in the center of our flower. Just little dots in the center. Just some over on the side here. And we want to put the little joins in the flower. I'm going to go back in with that dark color and just put a little bit more detail on the outer edges of the flower. Just indicate some petals. And this is a really great exercise to practice with how to soften your edges on a flower. So if you take a damp brush, just with clean water and move some of that paint around, you can start to see how you can soften some of those edges and almost make them look velvety. And if you take off too much, then just add your color back in where you want. So it's a great exercise to practice and play with to learn how to manipulate the colors. And if any of that yellow has sort of disappeared, I'm just going to add in a little bit of ochre, just here and there. So play with your colors on your flowers, on your poppies. And if you like, you can do a complete wipe out of color. You can take out a really nice leaf. Just really show some brightness to the leaf. Now with poppies always have little buds near them. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do those buds. And I'm going to use an angle brush. I'm going to make with my ochre and green, I'm going to make an olivey color because it is a little bud. So the little bud, we're going to put, we'll start with one coming from the outside and in, but you can put your buds wherever you like them. So we've got some little buds. There's one coming off that flower, one coming down here. And I'm going to put one over here. I like to work in odd numbers, so there's 3. Now they look pretty dark compared to the rest of the picture, so I'm going to lighten those up a little bit just by pulling off a little bit of paint. Just by taking off some paint. And back to my little brush with that olive green, but I want it to be just a little bit lighter. I'm going to add a little bit more ochre. And I'm going to give this bud some little tiny wispy shoots off the side. And I don't want the stem to be quite as dark, so I think I'll take a little bit of paint off there as well. It's just a little bit darker than I like. And so I'm just lifting off a little bit of paint at a time. Now I'm going to use my small brush again and just make a stem with that olivey green color coming. Well, I don't actually have that dark spot anymore, so I need that dark spot at the bottom of my flower. I need the dark spot at the bottom of my flower where the stem is going to be. And I'm just going to bring a stem down in with the rest of the foliage that I've created with the straw. Now, before I go ahead and put in any blue for the background, I want to make this bottom a little more green. Yours might be good, but I'm finding mine is a little bit too bluey. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to blow some more of the green into the picture. And you can add more if you like, or you can leave yours the way it is. And if you want, you can add different colors. There's no harm in adding a little bit of red or a little bit of orange to the base at the bottom. So I'm putting in a little bit of red here. And I'm going to put in a little bit of ochre also. I'm going to put that in there as well. So as long as you're using the same colors that you've got in your picture, it should turn out fine. So you can go ahead and add in as much as you like until you're happy with it. And there I've got a little more color in my picture. for our background, we're going to use the blue that we've used, that we've mixed in with the green, but we're going to water it down quite a lot. So I've got quite a light blue with a lot of water, and I'm going to start off very soft, just in and around the flowers. I don't want to fill in the whole thing. I like to leave a little bit of white. And if I happen to touch a flower or touch a stem or touch a leaf and it starts to blend a little bit, that's nice. That actually adds to the picture. So I'm just putting on just little touches of blue for background. And in some places, I want that blue, just a few places. I want that blue just to be a little bit deeper. Just in a few places, just to give that watercolor look, little effect. And like I said, if you touch your plant, your flowers, and they start to blend and bleed a little bit, that's okay. So practice it a little bit again. This isn't the last time that you'll paint something like this, I don't imagine. So practice and play with this and just see how you can change the petals, how you can change the look of a flower just by the petals and by the outside edges that you do. And so here's where you'll decide what your artist signature is going to be. And so you can put your signature somewhere on the picture. So I'll put mine at the side. I've just blended mine right in with the picture. So there's the two side by side of the poppies. Just move this over. There's the two side by side of poppies.